Tonight is a special night. Why is it a special night? Mr. Tzipori, you came here not for no reason. You know why you came here? You came here because tonight is one of the greatest nights in the Jewish calendar, the most holiest night. Why is that? Because tonight, if I was in Israel, I would be most likely in Tzfat. Tonight, over 450 years ago, was one of the greatest tzaddikim that tonight is the Hilula, Arizal HaKadosh. Rabbi Yitzchak Luria Ashkenazi, a young man, a young righteous human being, a young man in the age of 38, in the age of 38 only. When people passed away in the age of 70, 80, everybody feel bad. He passed away in the age of 38 and he changed the whole world forever. Just to show you that it's not how long you're alive, what exactly you're doing every day that you're alive. How did they say, Avraham v'Sarah zekenim ba'im bayamim. Avraham and Sarah, they're old, they came with the days. Mrs. Eliyahu, when you're 175 years old, who count the days? We count the years, right, doctor? Who count? The Pasuk said that Avraham and Sarah came with the days. Come the sages and teachers. That for Avraham and Sarah, every day was count. How did they say it in simple English? Don't count the days. Make the day count. Do not count the days. Don't just count 1 day, 2 days, the calendar is running. No. Every day have to be like the last day in your life. Arizal in the age of 38 only. Wow. Literally changed the world. Do not count the years. Make the years count. He definitely made it count. He definitely inspired the whole world. Arizal is the one that added in the Sidur. Areni mekabel alai mitzvat aseh. Shel ve'avta l'reacha kamocha. I accepted myself. In every Sidur, Ashkenazi, Sephardi, Chabadnik, Hasidi, anyone, in any place in the world, every Sidur starts with I accepted myself to love my fellow Jew. For Arizal write that this tefillah, these statements, this acceptance that we're doing is the key to the gate of heaven. Before you start tefillah, before Akedat Yitzchak, before the sacrifice of Avraham and Yitzchak, the first thing is, I love my fellow Jew. That's it. This is the beginning. If this is so, I'm going to speak about a few halachot and then we're going to touch the topic of today. The halachah of today is going to be obvious. Netilat yadayim, washing hand. Every time we speak about a different mitzvah, one mitzvah we spoke about is very important mitzvah is Birkat HaMazon. One time we spoke about the blessing after you leave the house, the bathroom, Asher Yatzar. We never spoke about obligation. That anyone know who is the one that made Netilat yadayim? Who is the one that made the halakha, the law, that you washing your hand, and this is an obligation. Who is the first one that brought it into the world? You're going to get, not Holy Schnitzel this week, Holy Schnitzel is closed. You're going to get most likely, how do you call it? Yes. Open press lunch on the house. Who is the one that made Netilat Yadayim so much, Dr. Daniel, when he made it? A voice from heaven came around and said, Beni im chacham libcha, ismach libi gam ani. My son, if you are happy, I'm going to be happy with you as well. A voice, Dr. Albert, a voice from heaven came. Ladies and gentlemen, you are lucky to come here. All the thousands and thousands of people, you are lucky to hear this message. Who is the one that made it? You know who he is? No one else. From King Solomon. King Solomon is the one that studied this and made this halakha that every time we have to wash our hand, the force is many times that we have to wash the hand. Many incidents. I can count easily 5 to 10 or maybe even 20. 20 times a day to wash the hand. To wash the hand almost for every incident that we're doing. You know who made it? Made it Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon. King Solomon studied it, and some of the sages, the Gemara studied it, before food, והתקדשתם והייתם קדושים. אני השם. והתקדשתם אלה מים ראשונים. והייתם קדושים אלה מים אחרונים. אני השם, זהו ברכת המזון. You know what I mean? והתקדשתם. Become holy. No, be holy. And then become holy. I am your God. Be holy meaning before you come to eat, you have to wash your hand. Become holy meaning after you eat, you have to do what? Mayim achronim. By the way, today I'm going to give you a lot of chidushim. Dr. Dr. Daniel, we have only twice during the food that we wash your hand. They have something that called middle water. Did you ever heard it? מים אמצעיים. Anyone know what is מים אמצעיים? What is middle water? I know מים אחרונים. I know מים ראשונים. What is middle water? The beginning water, I know. Before we eat, we have obligation. We have obligation. אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על נטילת ידיים. You know what a person have to have in mind when you said, and you're going to become a multimillionaire. You know, everybody was busy winning the lottery. It was 1.2 billion. And I don't know, our community didn't win. And you know why? Maybe after tonight, you're going to be the next winner in the big money. Dr. Daniel, what do we have to do? Pinchas, what do we have to do? When you're washing your hand, you have to have 2 pesukim in your mind. A minute before you're making the bracha, 2 pesukim. Which pesukim? Which verse you have to have in mind when you're washing? The first one is, listen to 1 second. I'm going to. מלא ידינו מברכותיך. And the next one is, it's actually the same pasuk. ומאושר מתנות ידיך. You see, if you have these 2 pesukim in your mind, you cannot say it. You just have to have it in mind. Covenant, kavanah. You're going to become a multi-millionaire, and I will prove it to you in a second. What do we do when we wash your hand? The first pasuk is, please God, מלא ידינו מברכותיך. Make our hand full of your blessing. The simple explanation in English of מלא ידינו מברכותיך is what? Made our hand, when we're standing and we're making bracha, make our hand full from your blessing. ומאושר מתנות ידיך, with the wealth of your hand that coming all the way to us. Do you know what's the connection between these 2 pesukim to washing hand? Because what's the connections? Avram, what's the connections? Maleh, which letter is the first letter? Which one? Maleh, mem. Yadeinu, which letter is the first one? Yud. Mi birkotecha, which letter? Mem, Yud, mem is what? Mine. Water. Second pasuk. Me'osher, which letter? Mem. Matanot, which letter? Mem. Yadecha, which letter? Mem, Yud, mem is what? Mine. A minute that you have these 2. Mine, water. When you're washing your hand, water, please God, give me. And because of that, Rav Chisda said, you know why I become rich? Because I was not stingy on the water. Some people, they wash in hand, you know, not only it's not kosher, they do it like the America is about to end the water. I know we have issue with the bread, we have issue with the wheat, we have issue because of Ukraine, Russia, but nobody said that we have issue with water. When you wash in hand, put unlimited water. Mine, because mine is the guarantee to become rich. You know how I know that? What's the blessing? Daniel, what's the blessing that we do when we wash in hand? Al netilat yadayim. Al. Which letter is the first one is? Ein. Netilat. Which letter? Nun. Yadecha. Which letter? Ein. Nun. Yud is what? Ani. You know what's mean ani? A poor human being. If you don't want to be poor, you have to wash your hand with unlimited water. You see that? Netilat yadayim. Now this is one netilat yadayim before food, that this is crucial and important. But there are many other netilat yadayim. The second one, Dr. Daniel, I will repeat this one just for you to hear. Al netilat yadayim is ayin, nun, yud, poor. In order to go out from being poor, what do we have to do? Water. Unlimited water. Why? You remember the 2 pesukim? Automatically. This is one. Second important netilat yadayim is what? Second important netilat yadayim might be, according to the Kabbalah, the first one. Tonight is the night of Arizal, so obviously it's going to be the first one. The most important netilat yadayim is when? In the morning. When a person wakes up in the morning, the first thing that you have to do is washing your hand as soon as possible. You know that according to the Kabbalah, I saw it today, the neshama doesn't come into the body until the person wash the hand. When a person is going to sleep, part of his soul, part of his neshama is going about. Because of that, you're coming back, You feel like a brand new human being. You have the power. Why? Part of your soul is going up. And then it's coming out, it's coming down, and it's sitting in your nose. Why in your nose? ויפח באפיו נשמת חיים. God was blowing from where? From the nose. This is what the pasuk said, right? So our neshama, our soul is on the nose. As long that you don't wash your hand, the neshama got stuck here. You know? So how do you do it? You have to wash your hand as soon as possible. When I say as soon as possible, I'm talking about so fast. So fast that Hasidim and extra careful people, they put the Negelwasser. You know what I mean? Netila? Netila meaning a cup. Natla. They call it Natla in Lashon Chazal. Natla meaning is a cup. You have to do it with a cup. With a specially cup that designed for Netilat Yadayim. In this moment, Hasidim and religious and extra Yirei Shamayim people, they do not put the legs on the floor before they wash in the hand. Chacham over there write that this is okay, all the house is like a human being, but obvious the best things to do is to have the water next to your bed. And right away when you wake up, after you say Modeh Ani, you washing your hand right away. What's the reason washing hand in the morning? If we're already talking, gentlemen, ladies, washing hand is important to becoming rich. Washing hand is important to become healthy. Obvious, in Corona, everybody realized how important it is to wash hand. Everybody, now nobody argue. Every second somebody washing hands, putting this, washing hand is important. Not only that, I will tell you this one. What is that? 1 second. Adever HaShachor, the black plagues. You know when there was the black plagues? And 1347, was like 700, 800 years ago. 30% of Europe died. 30% of Europe. Just imagine yourself, how much people we have in Europe? 100 million, how much? Easily few. 100, 200? Billion? Billion people. 30% meaning 300 million people die in a period of 3 or 4 years. They call it the Black. You know who's the only nation that didn't die? The Jews. And nobody understands why. They brought Yale, Princeton, Harvard, all the social, all the smart people, and they made the research. And they realized that the only reason that the Jews didn't die, it was because of Netilat Yadayim. Because this nation was careful to wash the hand every second. So it's good if you want to become rich. It's good if you want to become healthy. It's good, it's important. Netilat Yadayim, washing hand in the morning is important. I will conclude with this one. We're talking about after bathroom. We're talking about in the morning. We're talking about when you're going into the showers. We're talking about between fish and meat. If you eat fish like Bukharian style, with the hand, we eat fish with the hand because we have this fish, fancy fish, that is full of bones. I'm not talking about regular fish, the tilapia. I'm talking about this fancy fish that we eat in Yeshuvah. If you eat meat right away after, you have to wash your hand. Wash your mouth, eat something, and wash the hand. They call it middle water. Do you remember I told you what's middle water? This is a middle water. Water, מים אחרונים is the last water. Before Birkat Hamazon. מים ראשונים is in the beginning. מים אמצעיים is between fish and meat. Between fish and milk. We are Sephardim. We don't eat fish and meat together. We don't eat fish and meat, just to let you know in general. Okay? Now, a Ben Ish Chai writes, and I have to be very careful in what I say now. The Ben Ish Chai writes that sometimes washing hand is strong like a mikveh. Where do we see it? If, let's say, you remember in COVID-19, mikveh was locked down except the woman mikveh. Women have to go to the mikveh. I'm talking about men. What exactly a man that wants to go to the mikveh can do? Come the Ben Ish Chai and write for men only. Only for men. If you wash your hand 40 times to the rice, Lasirugin, meaning here, 40 times. Some said 20, and then 10. Some said 40 times direct. It's considered to be a mikveh for a man if his mikveh is not open. Unreal, the power of Netilat Yadayim. Last but not least, because I know that the topic was different today, but I want you, what's the difference between wake up in the morning, coming out of the bathroom, scratching your head, what else? I'm going to ask you, and making haircut. All these things are obligated and washing hand. To washing hand before food. What's the difference? Anyone can tell me what's the difference?
In haircut and food?
Yes. What's the difference in the way washing? No, I don't know, but what's the difference in the way that washing?
For food, you do 3 on one hand and 3 on the other hand. Another one's 1.
For food, we do... Beautiful. For food, we do in what?
We do 1. 3 on one hand, 3 on the other hand.
Beautiful. For food, we do in 3 in one hand and 3 in the other hand. And in the morning and all the rest, what do we do? Lasirugim. 1. Why? Why? And the food is different from the way that, yes. Anyone know why? Why in the morning is different from the way that we do it to the food? By the way, all the rest. Okay. And? איזה יופי. Yes. Yes. Here. No. Beautiful. What's the difference? Dr. Daniel and Dr. Albert. In the morning when you wake up, how do you wash hand? 1. They call it in Hebrew, Lesirugin. Before food, how we wash hand? 3. What's the difference? Oy. Baruch Hashem. Abraham and Adam is in the house. Baruch Hashem. May God will give them a long and healthy and happy life to raise them to become Rosh Hashiva and have Bedin. They scream, and I heard also the voice of the Father, that the difference is Tum'ah and purity is jumping. And purity is jumping. And purity is jumping, meaning in the morning we do it. After you leave the bathroom, after showers, when you make haircut, when you're going into funeral, all these things is the reason we wash hands is because of purity. You want to take away the tumah. Taking away the tumah, that impurity, spirituality is jumping from one hand to another. Because of that, you have to do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. According to the gown, now you have to add another 2 to make sure it's clean completely, to take it. So this is, but before food, we don't do it to take the tumah. Why do we do it? To become holy like the Kohen Gadol. Before food, before you eat, before you come in to eat bread, you wash in hand to become like the Kohen Gadol. And the Kohen Gadol, to become pure, 3 and 3. Chazaka here and chazaka there. What a beautiful explanation. If this is so, I will end with this topic of today. And it's a very important topic to all of us to know. Ladies and gentlemen, I spoke about it in Suda Shlishit, and maybe we're going to take it a little further tonight. You know, they had a story that everybody knows the story. But today, we're going to bring a different insight to the story. A story that we all grew up with. And maybe it's going to be one message. The first message is the importance of washing hands. Washing hands is good for clean any impurity. Washing hands is good if you have nightmare, or if you have, anxiety attack. It's good to wash hands all day long. If you are afraid or you have imagination. If a person have imagination, just wash hands all day long. Wash hands. Washing hands is good. Washing hands is good to become healthy. If a person is sick, I will tell him, go and wash hands. Washing hand is important to become rich, to win the lottery, 1.2 billion. Wash hand. Wash hand. Knowing to be that washing hand guaranteed to make you rich, guaranteed to make you healthy, guaranteed to make you pure, guaranteed to make you kadosh. What the washing? This is the first message. The second message is, Abraham, listen to the second message. Eli, listen to the second, listen to this. It was a story that the Gemara said. We are in the 9 days. We're not in the 9 days, we're much less. But we start the 9 days. Being the fact that we are in the mix of the 9 days. We're very close to Tisha B'Av. The Gemara is asking, why? Why Beit HaMikdash got destroyed? Why our holy temple got destroyed? And listen to the story of the Gemara. The Gemara said, there's many reasons, but the main reason is because of two people. Two people were stuck in the exile for almost 2,000 years. What's the name of these two people? Al-Kamtza u'Bar Kamtza. Charva Yerushalayim. Beit HaMikdash got destroyed because of two people. What's the name of these people? Kamtza u'Bar Kamtza. Beautiful. What's the story? One time he was a man, a respectable human being. He had a party. I don't know, it was bar mitzvah, brit, weddings. He had an event, a big event. Now he invite his best friends. To your event, you always invite your best friends, right? Are you going to invite your worst enemy? No, right? An event, people that you don't want to see is your enemy. Now he invite his best friends. What's the name of his best friends? Kamtza. The delivery guy made the mistakes. Instead of give it to Kamtza, he gave it into Bar Kamtza. Sounds the same, right? I mean, obvious you can make mistakes. We're going to see if son or not, Marsha right. But in general, two people live next to each other. One of them is Kamtza, the other one, Bar Kamtza. He made the mistakes. Now Bar Kamtza was his worst enemy. He hated him dearly. Bar Kamtza came into the event. And when he was walking in, this man, the one that invite, asked him, excuse me, what are you doing here? He said, what's the mean what I'm doing? You invite me. He said, I never invite you. He showed him the invitation. He said, I'm sorry. He said, in the invitation, he said, Kamtza. Your name is not Kamtza, it's Bar Kamtza. Get out of here. He said, don't embarrass me in public. How many people do you have here? 500 people? I'm paying for my plates. He said, no, I don't need your money, get out of here. He said, do not embarrass me. I'm paying 250 plates. I'm paying 50% of the event. If the event costs $100,000, I'm paying $50,000. Do not embarrass me. He said, get out of here. He said, get out of here. I'm paying the whole event. Leave me here. Don't make a scene in front of everybody. How much? 50,000? Take a check, take a credit card right now. He said, I don't want you here. Get out of here. He left. And he saw everybody was quiet. The rabbis and the people, everybody was quiet. He went into the Caesar of Rome and he snitched against the Jews. He said, dear Caesar, the Jews rebel against you. They literally rebel against you. Go, and the Caesar came, destroyed Beit HaMikdash. And the rest is history. Almost 2,000 years we were in exile because of two people. Kamtza or Bar Kamtza. Now what's the message for us? What's the message? Listen to the message. You're not going to believe what the beautiful message is that. No rabbi ever touched this message. Tell me, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. If the guy that kicked him out knew, if he just knew, that because of that, because he kicked them out, millions of Jews die in that generation. And 2,000 years of exile with the Holocaust, with the Spanish Inquisition, how much suffering the Jews, that he will ever do it? No. If the guy that went out knew that by him snitching to the Caesar of Rome, we're going to be in exile of 2,000 years, he will never do it? No. If the rabbi that was sitting down and kept quiet, knew that by keeping quiet, we're going to have Holocaust. We're going to have the Spanish Inquisition, that they will never keep quiet. Do you know what's the message for us? Don't take your action lightly. You never know how far is one deed that we're doing. Every act that you do can change history. Every act, simple act, can literally change. How many of us come with the attitude, if you didn't wake up in the morning for minyan, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Okay, one day I didn't wake up in minyan. Why the rabbi become so black heart? Why one day I didn't come to Monday night? What's the big deal? One day. Okay, next week I'm gonna come. In our life we have this attitude to take our actions and to make it nothing. It's not a big deal. Nothing bad is gonna happen. So I make fun of this guy. Okay, big deal. I make fun of this guy. I made a comment. Why is getting oversensitive? Why is getting... I don't understand what exactly I did. Why did you have to overreact it? If you just knew how much every act that we're doing can influence life of generation to come. The daughter of Yitro, she saw a Jewish baby. You know what? The daughter of Paro, she's walking around side. The daughter of the strongest human being in the world, Paro. Now he is the king of Egypt, the king of the world. And he said, anyone that touched Jews will be dead. His own daughter see a baby, obvious a Jewish baby. What is she going to do? Now we're going to see it, we're going to say, what's the big deal? I'm saving only one. Only one Jew, what's the big deal? One baby less, one baby more, what's the big? She said one baby. And the rest is history. All the Jews and all the Torah that we got because of this baby. One Lashon Hara, one bad speech can ruin human being forever. What's the big deal? It was a big rabbi that came into our synagogues and he spoke and he made a speech. And by Emet, he spoke on Friday night. He came to collect money. And he spoke and he came into Friday night to speak in the synagogues. Shlomi, the speech was amazing. He came Saturday morning, 500 people in the synagogue. Eliyahu, he gave a speech, life-changing. And Seudah Shlishit, everybody looked at him in strange ways. In the morning, everybody was in love with him. Rabbi, you are the greatest. And Friday, everybody said he's a tzaddik. He's a righteous. Afternoon, nobody talked to him. Nobody even looked at him. Nobody gave him respect. And he's asking around, what exactly I did? What exactly? He went into one of the guys. He said, why nobody's talking to me? What exactly I did? I came in the morning and everybody took him. The whole community was walking with him all the way home. 500 people. Afternoon, nobody talked to him. So he came into the Shamash. He said, Kvod HaShamash, what exactly happened? He said, the rabbis told us that you stole Divrei Torah. You stole Sefer Torah. You know what it means to steal Sefer Torah? He said, I stole Sefer Torah. He came to the rabbi. He said, but why are you telling everybody that they stole Sefer Torah? He said, I didn't say Sefer Torah. I said a book of Torah. Your idea didn't come from you. It came from a book that you never mentioned the names. Do you see how far people took it? He says Sefer Torah. The other one said only a book. And later on it was only the ideas. Power of Lashon Hara. Do you know that one bad speech can kill Shidduch? Shidduch. You're going out on a date. You don't even have to speak. You don't even have to speak to kill a Shidduch. When people call me all day long to ask, because many people put me in the resume, Rabbi Vaknin is our rabbi, ask him. I always said, ask me details. How is the post in general? It's amazing, it's incredible. If you want to know, why? Because you know how you can kill a human being? You can kill a shidduch, you don't even have to speak. What do you have to do? How is this guy? That's it. The shidduch is gone. Why? What's with he? Meaning with the laws. With the laws you can keep. He's a serial killer. He's what? He's a psycho. What's with he? Even if you don't talk, you can kill a human being. How much more so when you speak? Ladies and gentlemen, the second message of today, and that one might be is the most important message in our life. And how do you call this message? The message is very loud and clear. A beautiful message to come. Discover how every action has a huge reactions. How every actions, small actions or big actions, can put all of us in exile for over 1900, almost 2,000 years. Millions and millions of Jews to our generation die because of a fight of two people. Only two people fight. And history changed herself. When the Rabbi said that every act, every Birkat Hamazon that you do, every blessing, every Birkat Asher Yatzar, every tefillin, every Adlakat Nerot, every time you eat kosher, every time you come to Shiur Torah, you literally can save another Jew or maybe 100 Jews in other place in the world. They call it, how do we call it in psychology? Dr. Albert, how do you call it? You know how you call it? The butterfly effect. When a butterfly in one side of the world, butterfly is small, he's doing like this. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Oh, look at this. What exactly happened at this moment? Nothing. And then the other side of the world is a hurricane. Because that wind brought another wind and another wind until it came in, and we had Sydney, we had this, we had how many hurricanes we had? We had unlimited. And everything starts from one side of the world. A butterfly effect. Every action that we do, we have to think twice, especially during the 9 days. If there's anything that the 9 days is teaching us, our actions make difference. You wake up in the morning or not will make difference in the world history. You miss minyan or not will make impact in the world history. You came to Monday night or not will make impact in the world history. We don't realize our every act. You're going out on a date, the way that you react and exactly what you speak can make difference in our history. Not only in your history, not only for your children, for the whole entire world. Al kamtza ubar kamtza. The message, the depth messages, is not because of these 2 or 3 people. It's because none of them realize how their action can make huge impact and huge in the world history. Let's take this message to our life. Let's remember that washing hands, that in our eyes look like small deal. Small, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Why? I wash hand after I came out from the shower. I didn't wash hand. I wash hand before, after a bathroom. I didn't wash hand. I wash hand in the morning. Yes, washing hand can make huge impact in our history. I will end by saying this one. In the 9 days, discover how every action has huge reaction. Thank you very much. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו.